Okay, you're very welcome back to OTB AM. I'm here with Ian Keatley, man himself. How are you, Ian?
I'm good there. How's things?
Not too bad, not too bad. Can't complain. Thanks for taking the time with me. I presume, like the rest of us, you tuned in on Sunday to the game. What did you think?
Yeah, it was some game, wasn't it? It had all the range of emotions, the questions, what are they going to do? But ultimately, Ireland came up with the answers, didn't they? And it's actually so nice to watch an Ireland team, and all these things happen to them, and they just know how to respond, and they didn't panic, and just finish off the game so strong. You think Scotland in the first half, they were quite creative. They were making chances. They scored one nice try with Hugh Jones, and you're like, oh, they're going to get another few chances. And then you see Ireland. I think it was after 20 minutes I was watching them. The Scottish and the Irish teams they're both out in their feet, which when you're watching on TV, you don't understand. You don't see it from TV, the intensity and the hits and how much work is being done. But for Ireland, like, to finish off the second half, they just looked like they're getting stronger and stronger, even with all the stuff that was going on. And I know, chatting to Paul O'Connell, like, they strive for this unbelievable fitness, this next level of fitness, and you could just see it in the match that Scotland just had no answers.
A very hectic game, I suppose, especially with the injuries very early on. And probably the biggest talking point from the game was Van de Fleer and Cian Healy sharing the hooker duties. Something I did want to ask you was if there was ever a scenario in your international career where the coach asked you or the captain asked you, can we stick you in a certain position? What would be the last position you'd want to end up at during a game like that? I know yourself being a bit of a utility back at times.
Yeah, well, obviously, if you're utility back, I think anywhere in the front row, if you're gonna be asked to play there. It's actually, I've never had it. I never had it in my international career. I was actually a sub one time for Ireland, and I came on the wing against Italy. I think it was 2017. I came on the wing. I think it was when Craig Gilroy came on and scored the hat trick. So I came on then on the wing, but no, never. I played at number 9 for a club for Munster. Played at 12. I've played at full back. So, but never, nothing in the forwards now. I don't think. I think I stayed well away from there. But like on that thing with Cian Healy, like, Cian Healy played. He was on my senior schools team, and he actually played hooker. But we had 3 really good props. Cian was one of them, and just to try and get them all on the pitch, we put Cian in hooker. But our number 8 actually threw in the ball. He was a very good thrower as well. So, so funny enough, like, Cian, I know it's completely different from schools level to the peak international, but he had played there before. And I think, chatting to him at the start of the year, they actually did want him to try and go into hooker, not to throw in, but for this reason. So I think, I know we're all saying that it's been crazy that Cian had to go in hooker, but I think it's just really good planning from the Irish coaches that they've had this plan. Because if Cian wasn't able to go in hooker, they would have to go down to 14 men. So I know everyone's saying, like, it was great by Cian and Josh, but I think it's all been a touch of class from the coaching staff, that they knew that these possibilities could happen. That if we lose 2 hookers, we need someone to be able to go in hooker. And even if you look at Josh's throwing, it was spot on the money. Like, it wasn't a wobbly ball. It wasn't, the rotations on the ball were perfect. So I'd be very shocked if he hadn't been practicing as well.
Certainly is a testament to Andy Farrell's brilliance, and how important, from an outsider's perspective of someone who's been in that squad, how important is a coach, and a coach like Andy Farrell, to the success of an Ireland team? Because Ireland at the moment are probably at the best place they've been, a lot of people are saying, ever. So how important is a coach that setup?
Yeah, I think he's done an unbelievable job. Worked with Andy Farrell before, and he came into Munster, and like, he's a straight shooter, but like, he gets his points across. Nothing ever phases him or panicking. It's all about it's almost like just get the job done. But you can really see from this team that they've really, they don't let anything panic them, but they still have planned for the worst case scenarios. And I just know in the future or in the past, when Irish teams are going well and people go, oh, well, they haven't been tested or they haven't faced this. You can't say that about this Irish team, have you? Like they've gone down to New Zealand, they've won a series down there, backed against the wall against Scotland. They've beaten number 2 in the world in France. Now, probably people will be like, oh, well, they haven't beaten France in the Stade de France. That's probably their next question mark that someone will bring up, or like they just seem to have everything covered, every base covered, and they've just got really good strength and depth, and they're not playing negative rugby. They're playing really smart, intelligent rugby. Like people saying like, oh, they've gone away from the kicking game. They haven't. If we watch how that game swung on the weekend, it was that contestable that was put in just outside the 22. And I remember the commentators going, what are they doing a contestable? And then Mac Hansen gets up, wins it, momentum completely changed, and a few more, like, they score. So they're just a very smart team. They're just playing to the space. They're creating good space, but they're really good decision makers on the pitch.
And obviously, do you look at a team like that and think, yourself, you're 2 years younger than the starting fly half at the moment? Do you feel like a bit of, not so much jealousy as much as envy, just to play in a team like that with the form they're playing on?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think every player, whether they're starting off in their career, they're during their career at the moment, or if they've just retired, like, you could even look at myself, or even if you look at like Jamie Heaslip or Roy Best, who have just recently retired as well. I'd say they'd be quite envious. They're like, whoa, that game plan, the way that they're playing looks quite enjoyable. So yeah, you do get a bit of envy, of course. I think that's the competitor in all, not just rugby players, but all sports. Like, you always want to be involved in the good times, or playing on good teams, or playing attractive styles. So yeah, there is a bit enviness now. I don't lose sleep over it or anything like that, but yeah, you do. You kind of wish that you'd played in a team like that. 1 to 15, 1 to 23. There's no let up. So, but I'm starting to, like, I've retired nearly 2 years, so I'm starting to come across more so as starting to become a fan again. Kind of taking myself out of the rugby side and going, okay, I'm actually enjoying the way they're playing, trying to dissect what they're doing, and going, geez, that's very good what they're doing there. It's very clever. So, but the thing is, everything that they're doing, it's not complicated. It's really simple basics done really, really well, and good decision makers on the pitch under that pressure. Like, I think Mike Tyson's favorite saying is, everyone's got a plan until they get hit in the face. But these guys have a good plan, and they're executing it while getting punched in the face. So,
were you ever tempted to make the move to Leinster at any point in your career, being from Dublin yourself, especially coaches?
I went to Connacht for 3 seasons, and then at the end of my last season, I got offers to go to Leinster or to Munster, and Joe Schmidt was on to me saying, "Oh, listen, Johnny kind of just came through then. He wasn't like when I went to Connacht, like, he wasn't the starting guy in Leinster. We still had like Contepomi there and stuff like that. So he was only kind of just coming through. So I remember Joe Schmidt rang me up and said, "Oh, would you be interested in coming back to Leinster? You're from Dublin. Come back home. It'll be you and Johnny Sexton competing against each other." And then I kind of like took the phone call and just sat down and thought about it. But my thinking of it was, if I went down to Munster, obviously I could sit behind Raj for a year or two, learn off him. But then, like, Raj was like 11 years older than me. So I was there going, well, like, Raj's not going to be around forever. And then once Raj is gone, like, I felt there's a big opportunity there to cement myself as obviously first first choice for Munster, and it was more like, don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have come home to like your family, your friends, your mom and dad, like, because ultimately that's they're the people who've shaped you since you've been for the first 20-21 years of my life. So it was a tough thought, but I just thought Munster was a great club, really good people. You had like unbelievable players there, and I just thought that I could go there and have a really good career there with learning from Raj. But then when Raj moved on, that hopefully that I could become the number one. So that was it was more business kind of decision rather than going home decision.
I wanted to talk about your Connacht days. You mentioned it there. It's kind of, for me personally, as a guy with a dad from Roscommon, I went to a lot of games growing up in the sports ground, and you were a bit of a, I would myself labelled you as an adopted local star. When I was younger, I didn't even realise you were from Dublin. It just seemed like this was Connacht's star boy. Do you look back on those days with gratitude and even a little bit of regret you may having to stuck it out 1 or 2 seasons longer?
No, I loved Connacht. So I worked with Eric Elwood and Dan McFarland with the Ireland under-20s, and we won a Grand Slam with Ireland under-20s in 2007, I think it was. Yeah. So then went back to Leinster, and I had a really bad injury in my back, and we got scans, we got everything, they couldn't decipher what it was. And then I remember I kind of fell out with the Leinster physios because they almost said that I was faking it, and I was like, this was the Leinster physio at the time, and I was like, I'm not faking this, like, why would I fake this? Anyway, I went to see my own specialist, and he said, I'll get you right. So did really work with him. A guy called Mike Carswell, actually. A lot of the Leinster players still go to him. And then got better working with Dan Tobin. And then Eric and Dan, even though I had a poor season that season just through injury, Eric and Dan said, listen, would you still like to come to Connacht? Like, we've got full potential in you. Talk to Leinster, they were saying like, you'll stay in the academy for 1 more year and then you progress on. But I saw like players like Fionn Carr, who had done 3 years in the Leinster academy and then kind of been let go. And I was like, I don't want to be let go, and like, this could be my only opportunity. So when they said to come down to Connacht for a full contract, like that's what you dream as, like when you're a youngster, like just being able to play professional rugby. So Connacht gave me that chance to become a professional, and Andy Dunn was the 10 there at the time, and I just knew that I was going to get loads of game time, and I ended up doing it in 3 seasons. I played like 80 matches for Connacht, played in some unbelievable matches. Played against Johnny Wilkinson, my childhood hero, for Toulon in the semi-final of European Cup, and absolutely loved the experience and what they were kind of selling to me, that they had a 3-year plan to grow and develop this team around the likes of myself, Sean Cronin, Fionn Carr. They obviously had Gavin Duffy and John Muldoon there at the time. So you kind of got excited by what they're trying to sell you. But after 3 years, it was kind of, we still had good success, but I just felt that it was kind of now or never. I was 24 to 23, 24. What was it the best for me to move on? And especially when I was living with Sean Cronin and Fionn Carr, and they all have offers to move on as well. And you're kind of discussing that, what's the best. And I think Sean, the 3 of us discussed that it's probably the best for the 3 of us to move on, which was tough for Connacht that the 3 of us kind of moved on altogether, but we had to kind of be a bit selfish and think about ourselves. So
I did want to ask you if there was a moment or a game or an accolade that you if I'm going to make you pick one that you could remember for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Oh God, I can't pick one. That's pretty hard. Like, as I said, like,
Force here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because you're involved in so many like like the 2000, like I was involved in 2018 Grand Slam, but I didn't set foot in the field on the field. So you're like, okay, you're kind of proud of being involved in it, but like, okay, then like there's so many achievements with Munster, but they're not trophies. So you're like, okay, are they like? Do you want to like look at them? And then you start going back to like your early start of your career. Like I won a Grand Slam with the Ireland under-20s, won a Leinster School Senior Cup, which like back then, like I went into the school when I was 9, 10. All you're living up for is Senior Cup. You're like, so like that's an unbelievable. Now it's changed obviously, but like back then that was the biggest thing in the world to win a Leinster School Senior Cup, and then to win an Ireland under-20 Grand Slam. I think it was the first time Ireland had won a Grand Slam at underage against two teams who, like, it was under-20s, but they were just changing from under-21 to under-20. So France and England both played, or France and Italy, I think, both played under-21 teams. So to beat them, that was incredible. And then, yeah, at the end, the next year, getting your first Irish cap was pretty impressive. But also, like, when everyone thought that my career was kind of done, and to come back and then to be involved in that Ireland 2018 Grand Slam, that's an achievement for me, because everyone said that I was done in 2015 and 16. I got booed off against Leicester. So for me to come back from where I was in a pretty dark place, wanting to give up rugby, for me to come back from that and to get back to play for Ireland, that's kind of an achievement without like actually lifting a trophy or something like that. So I'm kind of like proud of those little things from where I knew I was mentally, and wanting to give up, to fight and to get back, and to as I said, that was an achievement for me, just to come out of that dark place.
And I mentioned earlier you're only 35 at the moment, 2 years younger than Johnny Sexton. You're playing in the Irish Legends versus English Legends game on Paddy's Day. It's almost weird to call you an Irish legend at the age of 35. Do you think that's a bit of a strange one for yourself, to be called an Irish legend?
Yeah, I probably do feel a bit young to be playing it, but I like, first of all, it's a great cause. Like you're playing, and especially this year, like with the passing away, but like someone I've worked with quite closely over the last 2 years, Tom Tierney. Like we'll be playing for him, and even Brian O'Brien, who passed away, who was a legend down in Limerick. But yeah, me and Tom, like I played in it last year as well. And Tom said that he was going to get the video of it and analyze my play and stuff like that. So yeah, so it is a bit of a weird one, but you just remember it's for a good cause. And John, I actually miss playing. I miss playing rugby. I always hop in, like I'm coaching now, and I always try and like come in at training, and like just the 50-22 rule only came in there since I retired, so I wouldn't mind hitting one of them in the matches, because that's I always do when I come in training, hit a 50-20, hit a 50-22, and it's a nice feeling. So I'd love to hit one of them in the Legends match, but yeah, it's for a good cause and a good reason. You get to play with other players like you haven't played with. Like I haven't played with a few of those players since, like I haven't played with Sean Cronin and Fionn Carr since the Connacht days. Sean O'Brien, yeah, I played with him at Ireland, but the main thing when I played with Sean O'Brien was back when we won that Grand Slam. So it's nice to play with all these guys, and then you've got like Shane Byrne and Gordon Darcy, who are all like legends of Ireland rugby. I think it's a cool experience, and it's not too taxing on the body.
You mentioned missing your playing days. I saw last year, or towards the end of last year, you picked up GAA, and you tweeted out it was your first game. It was like, you said 35, it's hardly your first game with GAA. But how did you find the switch over?
It actually was my first ever game, yeah. just, you know, yourself when you're younger, you kind of, it's whatever your parents get you into, or whatever your friends are doing. So I used to play like soccer and rugby and tennis when I was younger. So I never got into, just didn't have the time for it. So absolutely loved it. And another reason I tweeted is like, I have like 2 kids, and like first the boy Quinn, he never saw me play rugby because he was only born there 2 years ago. And Beth, my daughter, she saw me play over in Italy, but she can't really remember. And then COVID struck, so she never got to see me play then after that. So it's like I wanted to pick up a sport just so they could actually like see me playing something. And also another reason that I want to play in this Legends match as well is like, so like they're coming up to watch, and because they know that I'm still heavily involved in rugby, and like they've seen videos of me playing. So I kind of just, I'm looking forward to like getting out in the pitch, and then even bringing them onto the pitch afterwards. I just love when I see that after matches, because that's the main reason why you play and stuff like that. So so to go back to playing in a hand, it's 2 minutes down the road, and I just want to keep active. And a hand is it's a really nice, we're in the hand community. It's a really good community, and it's just want to keep playing, keep fit.
Will the kids be a bit confused as to whether to pick up a rugby ball or a GAA ball at this stage?
Yeah. Well, listen, at this stage, you don't really mind what they do, as long as they're playing sport and they're happy. But like, you have that, like, you look at like a lot of rugby players now, they have that multi-sport disciplinary, like Rob Carney with his GAA background, Robbie Henshaw, like any sport that a kid plays now, it's going to help you. Just make sure that you're enjoying it and play as much sport as you can, I think.
Look, I'm a huge fan, Ian, and I really appreciate the time. Thanks a mil. It's been great.
No worries, Dara.